Hello everyone, welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day. Kicking off with breakfast one day. Recently I made some vanilla oat and banana pancakes. So I started by breaking up 2 bananas in a bowl, and then I added in half a mug of oat flour and I mashed that all up together until it was as smooth as it could be. And then I poured in half a mug of my homemade oat milk. Gave that a good mix around. I've been sweetening my oat milk recently with vanilla anyway, but I added in an extra half a teaspoon of vanilla extract for flavour. And then I melted a tablespoon of coconut oil in a frying pan on a medium heat, and then I poured in my pancake mix. This actually makes 4 altogether. I just do 1 at a time and I divide up the mix evenly. They look a little bit lumpy, but that's just the oat flour, it's all good. And you'll know when they're ready to flip because they form these little bubbles on the surface. So then I just flip them over and cook them on the other side. I find it's around 5 minutes, and then I just stack them up on my plate. I then sliced up a handful of fresh strawberries and scattered those on top of my pancakes. And then I made some cinnamon ice cream by blending up 1 frozen chopped banana in my food processor, and once it was almost smooth I added in half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I blended that up again and then I scooped that on top of my strawberries. These are so tasty. They are my favourite vegan pancake recipe so far. They're really fluffy, they're really quick and easy to make, plus they're really filling too, and they just keep me going all morning. And so for a really uninteresting mid-morning snack, I just had some orange wedges. I've been loving fresh oranges recently, so much so that I actually bought a massive 4-kilogram bag of them and I'm still working my way through them. This wasn't too much on top of my pancakes, and as I say, breakfast kept me really full all morning. So I just took 2 and I cut them into segments and snacked on those. They're really refreshing, plus they're a great source of vitamin C. For lunch I made a chickpea tuna jacket potato. There's obviously no tuna, but it's very similar to tuna mayonnaise. So I actually prepped my potato whilst I made my orange snack so that it had a good hour in the oven. I just score around the middle and then I prick it, wrap it in foil and pop it in the oven on 200 degrees Celsius. Then I just made my chickpea tuna using a can of drained, rinsed chickpeas. I mashed them up a little bit in a bowl, and then I chop up half a red onion, add that in as well, and then also half a mashed avocado. And to that I added in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of tahini, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and then I seasoned it with salt and pepper, mixed it all together, and that's how I kind of make my mayonnaise. Then once my potato was done, I just took it out of the oven, opened it up, mashed up all of the insides. You can add some vegan butter here or olive oil if you like, and then I add my chickpea tuna on top. I also had some fresh chopped parsley as well, so I put some of that on too. Again, it's such a filling lunch, really tasty. And the chickpea tuna you can keep in a container in the fridge. You can use it in sandwiches, on pasta, you can put it in salads. It's so versatile. Speaking of which, I had some on some spinach crackers for an afternoon snack. These are very similar to my oat cakes, just with the added spinach. So I just add a mug of oat flour into a bowl, and then I added in 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast and seasoned it with salt and pepper. Then in my food processor I just blended up a mug of fresh washed spinach with a 1/4 of a mug of water, and then I just scooped that out into the oat mix and mixed it all up nicely. I then smoothed it all out onto a clean surface, and I took a small glass and used that to cut out 8 of the crackers, and then I lined a baking tray and laid all of those out on there and popped them in the oven on 180 degrees Celsius. They only need 10 minutes, but I flipped them over halfway through. When the time is up, I just take them out, leave them to cool for a little bit, and then I took 3 as a snack. I mashed up the other half of my avocado onto them, and then I scooped over the leftover chickpea tuna. So the rest of the crackers you can keep in an airtight container. I'd use them up within 2 days though, because they tend to be a little bit softer with the spinach in them as well. So for dinner we had a mezze platter. If you know me, you'll know how much I love my mezze. So I first made my baba ganoush with 2 aubergines. I washed those first and then I just pricked them, and then I took a bulb of garlic, I chopped the top off that, and then I laid the aubergines and the garlic on a lined baking tray, drizzled a tiny little bit of olive oil over the top of the garlic, and then popped those in the oven for 20 minutes on 200 degrees Celsius. Once they were done, I took them out and I left them to cool for a little bit, and then you can easily just peel the skin off the aubergine, so you're just left with the flesh in the middle. I then popped those into my food processor and then added in the roasted garlic cloves. Now, this seems like a lot of garlic, but because it's been roasted, it has a much sweeter taste and it isn't as strong. It's just amazing. So to that, I also added in some pink Himalayan salt, a tablespoon of tahini, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and a handful of chopped fresh parsley. I blended that up until smooth, and that's that done. And then I kind of made a Greek salad, but minus the feta cheese. I sliced up one white onion, and then I cut one tomato into small cubes, a cucumber into small cubes, and then I chopped up a handful of fresh parsley. I popped all of those in a dish, and then I added in a good large handful of chopped black olives and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and then I mixed that up really well. I then had loads of things in the fridge that I needed to use up, so I took my huge platter, I put 3 smaller dishes in the middle. I filled one of them with my homemade hummus, another one with my baba ganoush, and then the third one with some stuffed green olives. I then put some of my chia bread from my last What I Eat in a Day video under the grill straight from the freezer until that was nice and crispy. I popped that on the plate as well with a few more of my spinach crackers, and then also some roasted red peppers. I just used these from a jar and I chopped them up. I had some falafels in the fridge as well. I'll link to my recipe for those. Some sun-dried tomatoes, and then lastly I just added on some of my Greek salad. So this only served the 2 of us, but this would be a really great idea to have with friends. There's just so much going on the plate, so many flavours. You can mix and match, and that's what I absolutely love about mezze. I can just eat and eat and eat, and it's all goodness. So you can have some chia bread with some hummus on top, some sun-dried tomatoes, put some olives on there as well. You can have a spinach cracker with baba ganoush, whatever you like. It's just so delicious. And then for dessert, I made an almond and orange chocolate bark. I started by melting half a mug of coconut oil in a pan, and then I transferred that to a bowl and mixed in 3 tablespoons of raw cacao powder. I sweetened it with 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, but you could use more, use as much as you like to sweeten it. I then stirred through 1 tablespoon of almond butter and also the juice of half an orange. I then spread that out on a lined baking tray, sprinkled over a little pink Himalayan salt, popped that in the freezer for 10 minutes, and then I removed it and sprinkled over 2 tablespoons of orange zest, then put it back in the freezer again for a further 20 minutes until fully set. I find if you put the zest on straight away, it just sinks into the chocolate and you lose it. Then you can remove it, break it up into pieces. It's soft because it's obviously oil based, but this tastes amazing. These are just so quick and easy to make, and I love all the different toppings and flavours that you can use for them. You can basically just make your own flavoured chocolate. So I really hope you enjoyed another What I Eat in a Day video. As always, all the recipes and ingredients will be written up in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in my next one. Bye!